All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining. If you're hopping on at the moment, in the chat, just list where you're joining us from. I'd love to know where people are connecting and what's happening in the area that you're living in. So it is, gosh, hard to believe, Tuesday already, and the end of October. So this morning we have a fantastic guest for all of you. Her name is Teresa. Is it Moore-Era?
It's actually Murr.
Murr.
Murr. Mm-hmm.
Teresa Murr. Okay, correctly. And this morning Teresa is going to talk to us about caregiving, and her title is "Caregivers Die 60% Faster Than Those That They Care For," and that's an interesting statistic. And I guess we'll learn more about that as Teresa shares with us her journey and her story. So just to give you a little bit about Teresa, she is an author, a coach, and speaker for who recently published a book. So congratulations to her. And it's called The Art of Assisting Aging Parents. Discover the journey to honor your parents. Honor your parents. Create treasured memories and live life to the fullest. Wow, that's a lot. Her book is based on 35 years in the career of a physical therapist and experience caring for her parents. So Teresa definitely knows the challenges of being a caregiver because she's had to do that herself. And she believes that caregivers around the world face the challenge of keeping their parents healthy and aging in place while continuing to manage their personal life and commitment. So hats off to you, Teresa, for doing that, because a lot of times people want to place their parents in a nursing home, and especially right now with a place that people want to send their parents. So congratulations to you for doing that for your parents and being there for them. So that's truly a blessing. So with no further ado, we'll have Teresa come on, introduce herself, and share her title and story with all of us. So welcome, Teresa.
Well, thank you so much, Linda. It's great to be here today.
Awesome.
Yes. I guess my background is that actually at the age of 7, I kind of knew that I wanted to help people, So in my quest to help people, I had a lot of empathy and compassion with those I saw around me. So with that, and then with the love of science, which I developed in, junior high and high school, I decided that physical therapy would be a good career for me. So okay. I pursued that, and I did. I've been a therapist for 35 years now, but I also had a creative side to me, and really that was never met in physical therapy. And so I was a little bit frustrated. I was like, what else can I do? But when I did multidisciplinary group therapy within physical therapy, my world just opened up. And I thought, wow, this is where it's at. It's, getting people together, doing activities, exercising, stimulating their body, brain, and spirit, and just seeing them thrive. So, right. That's when I just was like, wow, this is my aha moment. And it was really good for me. I think maybe I had the most fun out of anybody, but right. I was okay too. But so I wrote up a 4-step program to sequence this group therapy, and we implemented it the best we could. Okay. And so then insurance decided not to pay as well for it, which happens sometimes. So I just kind of put it on the back burner. And about 15 years later, as I was taking care of my own mother, people kept coming up to me and my sisters saying, what do I do with my aging parents?
Right.
And so, I thought this is a perfect time to get my method into a book and to teach people how to do this. So that's how I got to the author stage.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And so your topic today is Thrive as a Caregiver with a Joyful, Vibrant Life While Assisting Aging Parents. So tell us more about that and, what's been going on since, you've started this journey.
Okay. Yeah. And I just got those alarming statistics a few weeks ago when I sat in on an Alzheimer's dementia summit.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, caregivers are dying 60% faster than those they care for, which is alarming. And then they also said if your partner has dementia, you have a 600% increased risk of getting the diagnosis of dementia yourself.
Huh.
So yeah, these are statistics that, I guess the beauty of it is they can be reversed, but they have to be reversed with the right, strategies.
Right.
Yeah. So just knowing that in like every 3 seconds globally, somebody gets a diagnosis of dementia. So it's going to add, it's going to take away from the quality of life for many people, especially the ones that have the dementia. But the ones that are caring for the dementia patients and, the elderly, their quality of life will decrease also, because caregiving is a big job and it can be overwhelming and it can be super frustrating at times, especially because a lot of times we don't know what to do,
Right.
And I met many people who really didn't know the problem. They couldn't solve the problem because they didn't know what the problem was. And as they were dealing with their parents, it could be a health issue, or it could be a behavior issue, or it could be, a lack of movement or whatever, but they didn't know, so
Right.
that's where, yeah. And that's
So,
where mhm.
so tell us for the people that are listening, if someone that's listening is a current caregiver and they're having a 9 to 5 job, they have to work, but hopefully right now with COVID, they're working at home. So, talk to us from that perspective. If you're having to work and you're having to take care of your parents or be a caregiver, what are some of the challenges that people may be facing, and let them know how can they overcome some of those challenges based upon what they're having to do?
Okay, yes. Well, I have a proactive aging process. That's what I teach. And I teach people to get healthy. For one thing, if you've got a healthy brain and body, you're going to be able to function so much better. So it starts with the health of the caregiver and the aging parents. So I teach 6, they're kind of like non-negotiable health strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to do with exercise, nutrition, mindfulness, and meditation. And there's a couple more like breathing. These things are so exceptionally good for your body. They don't really cost any extra money, and they can be done day in and day out if you get in the habit. And your health will just, tremendously increase if you do these, these strategies. So that's what I first talk to people about, are the health strategies. I also give them some communication. It's like strategies through educational theories. It might sound like a big deal, but it really isn't. It's pretty easy stuff. Yeah, I try to make it easy, but honestly, if you don't even know what, like yourself, or even like your parents or the professionals you're dealing with during this stage, it's going to be hard. It's going to be harder, and it's going to be more overwhelming if you don't understand your communication abilities, and others. So I try to get people, just aware of those things, and then finally I talk about the group interactions. And
Okay.
and like years ago when I loved group therapy, we had no research really to show that being in a group and the face-to-face interactions, they are like number one for being, for your longevity. So the people that live the longest, are face to face with others a lot,
Right. Yeah.
So and at this time with COVID, we can't be face to face in our normal groups, So that's really causing a problem, and social isolation. We spend, just in the United States, we spend billions of dollars every year just on social isolation.
Wow.
Yeah, it causes illness, to be away from people.
Right.
So, yeah.
So it sounds like that could be stressful,
Yes.
having to do that, because you're wanting to take care of your parents, but, you're wanting to, or you have to go to work in some form or fashion, whether it's through, physically going to work, or it's doing it through Zoom. So talk to us a little bit about, how should people manage their stress when they are faced with having to be a caregiver? particularly if they don't, if it's a sudden thing and you have to be a caregiver.
Yes. One thing I would say is pull the family together. And I talk about having a family meeting so that, everybody's on board. Because a lot of times one of the siblings or the children will be the primary caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
And they might, they might want to do that, but really the responsibility needs to be shared. And you can't do it all. You really can't do it all. So you have to pull in some resources. And that would even include maybe setting up some of these exceptional experiences for your parents through, even if they can, I would normally say go to the gym, but right now we're not going to the gym,
No.
Things like that, or but the activities that you can bring to your parents, and just to ask your family, what resources or what time do you have maybe to take mom or dad to the doctor, or what kind of resources do you have to help, and that type of thing. It really needs to be a group effort. Now, if the family doesn't get along, you kind of need to go through that conflict resolution. And I do give tips on how to, maintain your family during this time, because a lot of families split up, when they're having to care for mom and dad, because we all have a different set of eyes to look through.
Right.
To see,
right.
To know what we feel like their mom and dad should have.
Right.
So that can get very tense and very straining to a family relationship, and you don't want that.
Right.
You want to continue a great, really in your later life, those are going to be the bonds that are sometimes the strongest, are with your family.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can totally relate to that. My daughter was unexpectedly ill, 2 years ago. She went in for a routine procedure and ended up with a blood clot, and it just went crazy. Being in a, I guess for lack of better words, I guess she was in some type of a coma for about 12 days. But now she has miraculously recovered. But I was in an immediate caregiving position, and that probably lasted about 6 months. But you're not prepared. So talk to us about, for the people that are listening who may have been in a situation like me, that were unexpectedly, you're in a caregiving position, 24/7. For me, I was at the hospital for 2 months nonstop. And then when we brought her home here, that caregiving component still goes on, and doctor's appointments and things of that nature. So talk to us about, how do you prepare for those unexpected situations, such as, caring for your parents?
Okay, yes. And that is a great point. And I think that if you go into that, take care of yourself now. And, you have to be kind of the caretaker of yourself. So you have to, and what I teach people to do too is figure out their strong intelligences. And those are the things that, really resonate with you. Like, say, I'll just give myself as an example. I'm an introvert. I love my spiritual life. That's also an intelligence. These are all intelligences. I love to be in nature. And I love spatial, like I love art. I love that spatial, visual spatial. So what I would do for myself is I would set up goals, daily, weekly, and even yearly, on how I can nurture myself. And I might go on a retreat in nature. That would be a huge thing for me. That would cover all my intelligences, Right. And so what I would say is feed yourself now, so you can be prepared if you do get into a caregiving, scenario, or if your parents are aging, take care of yourself. And if you get into those habits, like when you had to step in and take care of your daughter, if you had some of those in place, which I'm sure you did, but you try to continue those, because you have to take care of yourself as a caregiver, because you're such an important piece of the puzzle. Like, you were so important for your daughter during those times, that so she could make a full recovery, which is wonderful.
Yes.
But so you were a huge piece of that puzzle. But if you weren't there, she might not have had that super recovery. So I think that we just, as people, we just need to really, nurture ourselves, nurture our strengths. And then if we do have some weaknesses, try to work on your weaknesses a little bit, and
Right.
and I tell people, like with their parents, they need to stay strong. They need to stay flexible. I meet a lot of people I work with in physical therapy that don't even know where their bodies are in space, but it's really, it's really interesting. Like you have them sit on one of those big exercise balls and they just roll off,
Yeah.
they don't know. So, so there's things you can do for yourself and your parents,
Right.
to keep everybody in good shape. You need those skills as you get older. You need you need to know where your body is. You need to know where your feet are as you plant them on the floor. If you get, blown by the wind or whatever, you need to know how to react, So I guess I would, as a caregiver, start early, be proactive, take care of yourself. Don't think about, I'll do this someday.
Right.
Someday is not a day of the week.
Right.
You've got to just start today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thanks for sharing that. So, as people are listening and they're trying to, absorb all the information, but what if someone that's listening doesn't have extended family that they can go to help them, because when you're caring for someone, of course, as you said, you have to take care of yourself while you're taking care of that person. But if they don't have an outlet, they don't have any family members, maybe that's close by, everyone's far away. And especially now with COVID, what are some of your suggestions of how people should handle that? And most importantly, if, especially with COVID, people coming in and out, and if you're taking care of a loved one, you don't want everyone coming by, that type of thing. What are your suggestions or thoughts on how people can handle those types of situations?
Yeah, that is a great question. And what I would do is, if you're a caregiver, if somebody offers to help you, don't say no. And we're so, I'm even like that. I'm like, I know I can do it, and then I get
Yeah.
frustrated, But don't say no, and give them a specific action.
Right.
Like, like, you know what, we could use dinner on Thursday night. If you would bring dinner over for Thursday night, that would so help me and my, because I have a meeting and I got this and that. So if you give them something specific, they'll do it, But if you just generally say, oh, just, in the future, if you want to come and visit or whatever, just do that. Well, that might not ever happen, So give them something real specific, or because we can't be, and like you said, you don't want a lot of visitors in right now because of COVID, but say, well, could I set up a Zoom time for you two to chat? My dad, his best friend, they could chat over Zoom. That would give them some social interaction and something to do,
Mm-hmm.
But try to get them involved. I would definitely say reach out, or if you have a group that you hang with, or a church group or a work group, try to reach out to those people, even for transportation or whatever you need. But yeah, you've got to reach out.
Yeah.
You've got to reach out to people and find your local resources in your town, and even maybe talk to a social worker at the hospital or something that were in your town, to give you some ideas of what you can do, and who can help you.
Right. Yep. Great. Great. Awesome. Awesome. So tell us a little bit about, let's see, you have a course that you have created on caregiving. So let the audience know a little bit about your course and how they can get access to that.
Okay. Yes. I teach my book online, and it's called Boss Caregiver Blueprint. And I named it that because I think we all go into caregiving with, compassion and love and devotion. But like I said before, sometimes we just don't know what to do,
Right.
So, yeah, so I teach you exactly what to do, all the steps for my program, and I teach it in 6 weeks. And it is called, Boss Caregiver Blueprint. And I know all my information will be in the chat. And if you email me, I can get you set up on that course. And also I actually have it taped online in my website store, but I also teach it live. And sometimes it's just nice to be face to face again, but if you don't have the time, or if you want to just do it on your own time, it is it is in my store on my website.
Okay.
And yeah, I also offer a free 20-minute strategy call if you're having a particular problem that you're just like, I just don't know what to do with this situation. I would, yeah, I have a lot of experience, and I love to help people, strategize on how to fix a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then I know today I'm giving away that freebie. It's a handout, and it's
Okay.
called, yeah, How to Teach Your Parents New Skills. And there's a very simple 4-step method to learning, and you can use it with your parents. Say, like, if your parent had a stroke and they need to learn how to like dress their upper body or whatever.
Right.
There's just ways to do it that are easy. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Very good. Very good. And let's see. So, what would be some? I guess what message would you share with the audience around caregiving and to making sure that they are successful, making sure that they are healthy, making sure their parents remain healthy? What is I guess your overall statement as we wrap up our session today? What is your overall statement to the audience around how to be the best caregiver for that person they're taking care of, but also how to take care of themselves?
Okay. Yeah, I would say just get started. And I mentioned that several times in my book. I just say, just start today. Because I teach all these things such as meditation and mindfulness, and how it actually grows your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so simple, and it's so healthy. The health benefits are huge. But if you don't get started, unfortunately, the information all stays in your brain,
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't take action, you won't get any benefits. So my biggest thing is take action, take the steps, and I teach you how to do it, and make it simple. And if you get started now and make this a lifelong journey and process, you may not be the one that gets dementia.
Mm-hmm.
When you flip a coin and say it's a 50-50 on dementia, well, you won't have to worry about flipping the coin because you're taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet it's just start now.
Yeah.
Start. Yeah. That would be my biggest takeaway.
Good. Yeah. It's I mean, it's one of those things that we all know is going to happen. We, as we get older, will need someone to take care of us, whether it's our children or our spouses. So we all need to start preparing for, I guess, the end of life at some form or fashion. And it's one of those discussions where nobody really wants to have, or they're afraid to have, because it's kind of morbid to some degree, but nobody really wants to talk about, the end of life. And, what you're sharing today is that it is important to start talking about it, to start sharing, and preparing for that, because we don't know when it's going to happen, especially, with COVID. So things are just a little crazy right now. And so, yeah, great that people need to start preparing for that. And then I think, did you mention your freebie that you have?
Yes. Yeah. We're going to put a link in, and
Okay.
it's going to be a handout on how to teach your parents new skills.
Skills. Okay. Good. Now, last question for you, I guess. Do you do anything for the parents, or is it just the caregiver? Do you incorporate the parent in that learning capacity around taking care of the caregiver?
Yes, I do. Everything that I teach in the book is basically is really for the caregiver and the aging.
Okay.
So yeah, my 4-step method, you get together with your parent, you have these conversations, and you find out your parents' strengths and their life vision, and you set goals, and you build these concrete activities, in which I call exceptional experiences. And I teach you how to wake up the body and the brain through even sensory stimulation of your, the vision, the hearing, the smell, the taste, the touch, everything, these exceptional experiences. And and it's really for your parent, but at the same time, you're getting all the benefits too. And
Right.
yeah. So,
Okay, good, good. Yeah, I want to just make sure that people that are listening, they may be thinking that, this is just for me, but what about the person that I'm taking care of? How do you incorporate that into it? So that's great that you do that as well, because that's very important for both individuals, how many there are, that they're all healthy and getting that same nurturing.
mhm.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome, great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Teresa. This has been fabulous. It's been an eye opener. I wish I had more information, when I was in that particular situation myself. And it can be frightening. It can be uh, scary at times because you're not sure what's going to happen and you're not sure of the length of time that you'll be taken care of. But most importantly, you've got to figure out how do you change, how do you adjust, and how do you do your normal things so that you can still have this sense of normalcy while you're still taking care of someone. And so for me, the most important was having family and friends around, which was a lifesaver. And I know that people will learn that from you as well as they, go to your website and check out your information. And for those that are listening, I will definitely be placing all of Teresa's information in the comments so that you can go out and, be a better caregiver. And if you're a good caregiver, enhance what you already know, but reach out to Teresa and definitely, most importantly, sign up for her course. And it's called, again, for those that are listening, Boss Caregiver Blueprint and expertly.
Yeah, Experiate.
Oh, Experiate Age for Families can be found in the store on her website. So I'll post that link there. And then she also has a freebie, how to teach parents new mobility skills, which I think is fantastic, particularly because you want them to be moving around and not get stiff. And so I'll post that link there. And again, thank you so much for joining me today, Teresa. Those that are listening, definitely check out her information that will be listed in the comments. And I will see you all on tomorrow, Wednesday, for my normal Facebook Live topic. So I'm not going to share the topic today. So you'll have to just wait for that. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Linda. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks. It's been a pleasure, Teresa.